Uh, Hi guys. Today we have a wonderful guest, Gil Klein from Business Development from Blockchain Center, New York, Bitcoin Center, New York. The man behind Zap Protocol, Cryptos.com, and a lot of very bright inventions truly revolutionize our blockchain and crypto market. So let's discuss from the first from very simple things. What's the blockchain center in New York? What's the Bitcoin center in New York for our audience in Europe, for our audience in Asia, how it's operating, and how many members do you have right now? Why do you call it blockchain center in New York or Bitcoin center in New York, and why you shift those, let's say, those brands?
Right. So great. Well, the Bitcoin Center started a while ago. Over 10 years ago in New York. Nick Spanos, he was the owner and orchestrated the entire idea. And he essentially opened up a Bitcoin exchange in New York City, right in front of Wall Street. So It was like a huge middle finger to the financial institution. And this was, again, this was a while back. So this was like really before, I would say, 70 or 80% of what is today's crypto world and economy, is really involved even in crypto or Bitcoin. Now, we did shift our focus a little bit. We still run several Bitcoin maxi events, so to speak, but for the most part, we shifted our focus to Blockchain Center because we wanted to pretty much be an incubator for people working in blockchain, not specifically only in Bitcoin applications. So what we did is we opened up the Blockchain Center Foundation. Nick Spanos opened it up. And we have our first location right now in New York City in the Upper West Side on 84th and Broadway. And we try to hold industry-leading events there, such as workshops, hackathons, a place for people to go work and share workspace, to have meetups, whether it's free or sponsored. We also, of course, hold events like parties and such for various companies, because we all know these satellite events are pretty popular during conference weeks, like NFT NYC coming up. We have a week hackathon. All of next week will be a dev jam. We call it a dev jam, developer jam, not a hackathon, but we have a dev jam actually being hosted by the Blockchain Center, produced by the Blockchain Center, with the help of Supermoon Camp. So,
do you have offices inside? Do you have, let's say, big project sitting with you?
Well, we have computers. We have like a office space, so to speak. It's not a traditional office space because it's very, there's art everywhere, and sculptures and projectors, and we have instruments. It's kind of like almost an artist corner type of space. But we do have people that go there to work. I myself go there to do a lot of my work. Right now I'm at home in my home office, but typically I'll go to the Blockchain Center either by myself or with a small team if we need to get things done. We have other companies that need to get work done, but they don't have an office space. They want to get together. They'll come and we'll negotiate a deal where they can use our space and resources to build, really, and to discuss the future.
May I ask for the walkthrough guide or something of that type, like we do video? We will add that video down below for our audience, just to, let's say, go through your blockchain center, just to understand that space, that feelings to be inside that creative space. But today we start with discussing Zap Protocol, because you are also representing Zap Protocol during our conversation. And can you briefly describe what the Zap Protocol is all about?
So Zap Protocol was also created by Nick and a few partners. It's a very, very strong, or I would say the main function of it originally was to be an oracle that would peg off-chain data on-chain, right? For various different reasons, various different industries. So part of what I was doing for business development is trying to get partnerships of various data feeds, really, for the Oracle to peg off of, that would prove useful and valuable to the end user or to the business that's using Oracle. However, now Zap.org has included not just an Oracle, but also an NFT marketplace. Also tools, developer tools that make it very easy for anybody that wants to build to just access documents and start building on Zap, to basically create a decentralized way of building. Now, a lot of what Zap does right now is tries to create a user interface as well for somebody who may not necessarily be a developer, but still wants to create their own token or list their own NFTs with just a basic bonding curve, right? Or a basic, reflections or smart contract associated with it.
Okay, but what the blockchain is behind the Zap protocol, or Zap protocol? It's also the blockchain. How it's how
correct. We do also have our own blockchain. We are pegged as well to Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. So over the years, I believe it started with Ethereum, and then we as well went on to Binance BNB. So
wow. So you create some, let's say, some simple way to launch NFT project with the help of Zap protocol right now. So it's
correct.
The newest project on Zap protocol, and everybody willing to launch their NFT, willing to play with NFT, willing to understand it's. Let's say opens the website. We'll add that website down below, and let's say play with those tools and just try to understand, make the first steps being creator. Because I do realize that what are you doing right now, sitting in that blockchain center, you have that spirit of create. And as you're representing that spirit of creating, and I'm also thinking that it's very important. Sometimes not every product will be successful, even the NFT product or whatever. But to understand deeply, to be more, let's say, or to invest wisely, to look deeper, you just need to play with also all of that too. So everybody willing to, let's say, get a touch of what NFT is all about, what's actually creation of NFT is all about. It's easy with that protocol, as I understand, just to play around, get that taste.
Yeah, if you have zero experience even working with these tools, you'll be able to access our documents on Zap, and actually you'll find it's very, very easy because we also list instructions of how to do certain things. Minting is very easy. I mean, a child can mint on our marketplace. It's very, very, very simple. You might need a little bit you might need to do a little bit of research on bonding curves to really understand why you would use it, if you would use it, right? If it would make sense for you. And that goes for tokens and creating your own token and minting your own NFT. But either way, the tools are there in a very, very ease of use way, so that really anybody can go and access them and try to experiment themselves without needing to talk to anybody or hire people or etc.
Okay, the audience, the crypto community know you as an experienced blockchain consultant. You have experience working with cryptos, you have experience working with Justifier. Could you, let's say, explain how you apply all of that, let's say, knowledge, making and working with Zap? What's your, let's say, biggest investment, I mean, in terms of experience to sweet equity to that?
It's a good question. I would say my biggest investment has been time and experience. I've been involved in blockchain for over 10 years.
Wow.
It started primarily as just point of sale. I would, like a maverick, I would go. I wasn't even in America. I was overseas at the time, Israel, Germany, Ukraine. And I would go to companies where I would see that they would have issues with chargebacks and recalls and et cetera. And I would help them introduce point of sale system for crypto, just to accept crypto. And then that was like the how it started. And then it turned into a little bit of a monster, because I realized that many industry leaders that were actually working together for whatever reason had the need as well to interact with each other with crypto. So I then developed kind of like an economy of stablecoin between Israel and Ukraine primarily.
Wow.
And that was for the bulk of my experience, and I built a lot of contacts during that time. Now,
I mean,
when I moved,
are you working with government? Are you working with Kuna?
oh,
What was
so
your experience?
no, not overseas. I was not, and even here, I do not. Nick Spanos, my partner, he does work a lot with government in the States. In fact, he has Vote Watcher, which is actually like I guess for lack of a better term, you could say an NFT voting booth, where
Yeah.
you go when you go and vote, you can actually implement a proof of presence protocol during that time, so you can document and prove that you were really there, truly there, and you really did vote. And it's, the applications of that, of course, down the line are endless. But in the beginning, it's a nice little niche to actually say, yes, on the blockchain, on chain, yes, I was there, yes, I voted, etc. So, we did work. I know Nick worked with a lot of politicians, both in New York and Florida, very, very recently, actually, with Vote Watcher.
We know those devils from Davos already putting that MCBDC agenda, central bank digital currencies. I mean, even MCBDC, it's a Bank of International Settlements project. They highlighting that during the last Davos. So it feels like that your experience will be necessary, let's say, for a lot of new applications during the years, because it feels like we are living, we're going to the era of CBDC. I don't know, it's good or evil, but still, it is what it is.
Yeah, look, it's a good point. I'm glad you said that. We don't know if it's good or evil yet. I mean, like, look at New York, for instance. New York, they were the first ones to take initiative on doing some type of regulation for crypto, in the sense of creating this bit license. And the idea behind the bit license was really just to protect investors and new adapters from being scammed and from being taken advantage of. That was supposed to be the point of it, but what did it turn into? Turned into just a capitalist cash grab, where you have to pay a lot of money and wait online and really know people in order to just to get a bit license. Which in turn, what does that do? It makes it so all the New York residents that are using, let's say, this company that has a bit license, now it's more expensive. So if I was I live in New York. If I was living outside of New York, I can use any exchange, really, right, to buy and sell crypto with competitive fees. Because I'm in New York, I'm limited to really only a couple of different exchanges, all of which are more expensive in fees because they have, because they have a bit license that they need to support it.
It's like shooting a leg type of, let's say,
Yeah.
guidelines. It's like it's not a protecting. It's like removing yourself from the whole ecosystem. It's just nonsense. And
Precisely, and it was supposed to be for the good. I thought it was supposed to be for the good, but it turned. So it's. I'm glad that you said that. I hope that this time around, when the government steps in and tries to regulate things, that they really put their resources into it and really do their research and do the legwork needed to create an even playing field for people involved in crypto.
Yes, because we have a lot of conversations. Let's say I'm in crypto science 2016. Also started with some smart city projects, with working with crypto only just like some system to give the cookies for the most successful players in that smart city. So a really simple smart city application in Latvia, in Europe, but it feels like nothing changes since 2016 in terms of real actions, not just conversation from the government side, but from, I mean, real something.
Doing something, actually doing something. Yeah.
Yes, yes, and it just by the way, I was let's say ambassador of all of that Estonian crypto licensing, and I had an office in Estonia, legal office in Estonia, creating the let's say crypto license for different crypto exchanges, and you know, right now it's not even worse because they are starting to cut all of that license. The Estonian government starting to
change their mind. They changed their mind.
Yes, they change their mind. So it's fun. It's funny that's a lot of those devils talking about the digitalization. They are willing to digitalize our world, but right now they are actually moving Web3, let's say, out of the boat. They are just removing. They not helping Web3, but they are talking about digitalization. It just unimaginable from in my mind. Could you help us?
They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing, but they don't want people to know that. So they're, you know.
Yes, so it's very, from my perspective, from my understanding, and every let's say old member of crypto community thinking that we need more, let's say, decentralized crypto exchanges, decentralized based on atomic swaps and something like that, just to protect our industry, because we don't know what they invent. Next year, we need to be independent in some manner. Regarding your experience with NFT, could you let's say tell us more about the application of NFT in Metaverse? Because I do realize you have experience connecting the real world and let's say that synthetic Metaverse world. Could you, let's say, explain your unique experience and give us, let's say, some hints, because we are actually willing to do that. It will be part of ELMAS land next, some of our small but very important programs.
So yeah, I'm glad you asked that. One of the more ambitious projects I've been working with for the past 2 years is Illust Space. And Illust Space, what they do is they have a second layer onto reality. So they use AR, augmented reality, to essentially populate our regular physical space with NFTs. Now, they're not doing it. The artists are doing it. What they did is they created a platform where artists or collectors, really, as long as you have a wallet with NFTs, you can publish your NFTs into the real world and geocache it. So even if you go to another metaverse that also uses geocaching technology, your NFT will still be in the same coordinates across all metaverses, because it's on-chain data. So whether it's on our metaverse, on our web app, or whether you're going using another metaverse with the web app that may be doing the same thing, as long as they're using geocached data for coordinates, it'll still live there, but you can control it and move it around with a lot of ease of use and a very friendly user interface with Illust Space. So wow. A lot of people ask me, it's like, you know, maybe they don't understand these terms, augmented reality, etc. So I try to explain to them, well, think about Pokemon Go, right?
Yes.
Yeah, with NFTs, that's really what we're doing. Now, moreover than that, you know, it started just on that. Then we realized, okay, well, now a lot of artists, because this has become very popular over the past year. So a lot of artists have populated New York City and Miami and Texas, California, anywhere where there's a large crypto conference, you're going to see a lot of art on the map. So what we started doing, we started noticing people are doing galleries as well and throwing industry leading events. So we also developed a proof of presence. We call it popping, to pop. Wow. and you can actually pop your experience. So if you're organizing the event, you can organize a very specific color coded pop so that you can peg that pop specifically to the event. And if you're attending the event, you have an NFT in your wallet. Basically, it's almost like a proof
Wow.
that you were literally there,
Wow.
that you actually attended the event. If it's a fundraising event that you attended, if it's a marathon that you're running for, that you actually showed up,
Wow.
and whatever the case is.
Wow. How many members you already have? I mean, how many? 5,000, 50,000? How many, let's say, active users?
That's a good question. That changes on a daily basis. We have a lot. The map is populated.
Got it.
Like thousands of. I myself have like 20 NFTs. Everything that's in my wallet, I've populated somewhere.
Wow. What kind of wallet do I need for that? Is it Trust wallet or something else?
I mean, I specifically use MetaMask. It's just what I'm comfortable with. That's where I've held most of my Ethan. So for me, I use that for NFTs. But yeah, any web wallet, I think that on a regular basis, they're including more and more as more are being developed. But any standard web wallet that you're currently using should work to be able to publish, to be able to view. There's of course a marketplace as well. It's funny though, the way I got involved with Illuspace, I was a customer first. They held an auction for an NFT created by MF Doom, which is a very, very, very famous hip hop artist that unfortunately passed away. Now he passed away a day after the auction. So I acquired the NFT directly from this artist, and he unfortunately passed away the day after. So we weren't able to do more releases from him, but it was very special for me, that connection. I felt really connected to the artist right before his passing because of this.
It's truly beautiful. What's possibilities to, let's say, to build a project on top of that? For example, we have some local events here in Tulum. What could we do, like, let's say, to use that Illust space?
Well, first of all, you can create a pop circle around your event so that anybody that goes there can, again, let's say you want to, for instance, provide attendees, people who attended your event or art gallery, you want to provide them with an airdrop, or you want to provide them with some type of benefit for arriving, or even just marketing. You want to have them to be able to contact later. They can literally pop the experience. And it's on-chain proven that they were there. For instance, in NFT NYC, I think that Illuspace has close to a dozen various events, other people's events that are using their pop system. To answer your question, in Elma's land, if you guys have any type of conference or any type of event, it would be very, very simple without needing to do too much to create a system where there's proof that people came, instead of just people saying, "Yeah, I was there."
I'm just looking at all of the 3D let's say NFTs on that map or on that Illuspace website. Yeah. Is it expensive, by the way? How much does it cost? Let's say, I mean, is it maybe to mint all of that, because is it Ethereum based NFTs, or what kind of NFTs it is? Is it Binance?
So initially, from a glance, because there's a lot of 3D artists that use our platform, it looks like we only support GPL 3D art, but that's not true. Actually, you can have a 2D image, you can have a CryptoPunk and peg it. Now, the way it works is we've created what we call canvases. So they'll look like a poster board, or they'll look like a little flag, and it's a canned canvas where you can put the art on, and that is 3D. So even if you have just a CryptoPunk or a Bored Ape and it's 2D, you can put it on the canvas, which is 3D, and then peg it, and then all of a sudden you have a 3D image of your 2D NFT. Sorry, a 3D rendering of your 2D NFT to be able to put onto the space. Wow. And it's free, by the way. It's free to publish. You can do it a million times if you want. It's absolutely free. We built this map specifically for the artists to use, for the world to use, not necessarily to monetize just yet. Right now what we have, it's not for monetization, it's for adaption and for utility and for people to use it.
Yes, but
down the line, monetization models will come into play, of course, and I'm sure you can already think of several that can occur.
Because of the proof of presence, being present in some, let's say, unique, maybe music event or whatever, could be have some value, because maybe it will be like I have photos from that place, I have an autograph of signature from that player, and I have that NFT, and I'm creating that, let's say, some type of box, and that box could be very valuable from my standpoint, especially if that singer already passed away and we don't have opportunity to connect with him.
Yeah, and the pop is very useful. I mean, like, look, imagine you have a resume and you want to apply to a job in the crypto world, okay? And a part of your leverage is that you've attended this many conferences, right? So, okay, sure. I mean, you can just say that you did, or you can provide just proof. Like, don't even say that you did. Just include in the resume all these popped experiences and be like, hey, yeah, this is where I've been in the past 2 years. Check it out. See if it's relevant. You know what I mean, to your industry, etc.
Yes. By the way, I had an experience like that. Mostly, I'm just sending the YouTube links with my, let's say, speech, with my let's say some presentation, whatever. So basically it's working like that, but I do realize that it would be also interesting for the just visitors, because I'm trying to visit all of the conference, even only being the platinum sponsor or something like that. I'm willing to invest. I mean, it's always investment, because you're investing months, like 1 month just to prepare everything. And if you are investing investing a lot of time, you could invest and money, and that's how you create that, let's say, unique presence at that conference, getting getting all the value from that conference. Because currently, for example, the consensus, I don't have time to prepare for the consensus. I'm not coming to consensus. I'm sitting working on ELMAS land. But still, do you have any competitors? I mean, that illicit space. What's your biggest competitors? Just to understand the competitors. Let's say surround that project, right, and the industry itself. Just to
so it's tough to really call anybody a competitor, because Illuspace, they truly do stand out from everyone else in the way they're going about doing things. Like, I know a few different platforms, like Superworld, for instance, that also have AR metaverse, right? So it's a metaverse layered onto our real world. However, you can't just publish your own NFTs and just drop them anywhere. You can, what they do is a little bit different. You can draw your own AR art on their platform, right? But it's not really an NFT either. It's just kind of
yes, got it.
It's an AR platform. What we do is everything's on chain. So when you have to connect your wallet in order to publish onto the map, and you have to actually you have to sign, you have to give permission, which is free, by the way, the permissions that you sign on with your map, with your wallet. But I can't think of any company or entity that is really providing the same service that we are, just with a different name or a different branding. The actual application, of course, there are other people that are doing proof of presence, okay, or a POAP, essentially proof of attendance protocol is what it's called. And so other people are using that. That's not something that is, that belongs to us specifically. However, the way that we've done our popping experience is that whether it's use of colors or otherwise, we can actually make a distinct variation between one event to another during the proof of presence experience. And that's why it's just a little bit more of a unique product that we're offering.
It's absolutely unique unique layer of, let's say, it's like, we call that extended reality, by the way. I like that concept of extended reality metaverses. It's not AR, it's not VR, it's like, it's mostly the extended reality metaverses trend. And I like that because
just a second layer. Yeah, it's just another layer, really.
Yes, that's truly beautiful. I will try to play with that because it just it's ultimate opportunity. It feels like I don't know. So many verticals could, let's say, be successful applying that project, because it's very natural for us as a ELMAS land to apply that type of events, that type of solutions. Okay, and let's move to your Cryptos project, because we have understanding that you're also highly involved in Cryptos.com. It's some sort of centralized and decentralized exchange. Could you explain what about?
So it's actually CryptOS. So it's like a cryptography operating system, and of course in the domain it's just cryptos with an s.com. But the actual brand is CryptOS. And basically what it does is it has a centralized exchanges user interface. So exactly what you would see on Binance or any other centralized exchange, that interface where you can set stop orders and stop losses and future buys and sells, etc., which you can't do on the DEX. But we use a decentralized order book. Okay, so and the entire onboarding process and the tokenomics behind cryptos, which will be the token, is decentralized and fair launched. So we did have a DAO that with voting mechanism, okay, and governance. And they decided.
Do you have KYC or AML procedures?
Yeah. So we'll get to that in just a moment. We do have a vetting process to make sure that our exchange won't be flooded with shit coins, basically, or scam projects or rug and pulls and stuff. But we do have a governance DAO that actually makes votes on certain decisions. So, for instance, for the token, we have two different tokens being worked on two different test nets in competition to see which one will win in regards to functionality. For the gatekeeper, so to speak, for onboarding new tokens, because again, this went live last night. So right now, just today, I'm starting to onboard individuals for this thing. Now, CryptOS won't be doing the onboarding themselves. This is their solution. They wanted a separate entity to do the onboarding and vetting, because to create a little bit more of a trustless scenario when doing so, rather than just having, okay, CryptOS responsible for everything. So me and my team, I have a very small team of people who do their due diligence and research. We do request, I created a form where we do request some documentation on the project, on the token. They have to have a website and a white paper. We need to see certain specs and aspects. KYC, it's not traditional KYC. It's more revolving around the actual what they're doing rather than the people that are doing it. That makes sense.
No. Regarding the KYC, it's more. It was a question from let's say from the regular trader standpoint. So
no KYC, no KYC.
Yeah. Okay, that was the question. But let's look at that product with from regular trader standpoint. I mean, why it's better than Binance? Why somebody should came to your platform and start trading at that platform? What kind of unique opportunities to gain more they have working with Cryptos? By the way, it's Cryptos or CryptOS, like Crypt Operation System.
CryptOS.
It's like Crypt Operation System. Yep, got it.
Yeah.
So let's talk about unique opportunities for general trader.
Well, first of all, why do traders prefer nowadays to go to a decentralized exchange rather than a centralized exchange, it's because they don't trust centralized entities. It's that simple. We all know that really at any given time, a centralized entity can just screw people over, or they can lose a lot of money because they're fined, or the CEO can be arrested for whatever reason. There's anything can happen that would put people's funds at risk, people's funds that are now in custodian with the centralized exchange. With ours, but on a decentralized exchange, right? You really only trade pairs. There's a lot of slippage. There's a lot of ways for people to hone in, and actually there's a lot of bots out there that will go and search for certain transactions and snipe them. I myself have gotten bit numerous times trying to get involved with the small beginning projects on decentralized exchange for that reason. These bots come faster than the projects do. Now, you can't add any bots here, okay? So you have tools that you don't have on a decentralized exchange that you do have on a centralized exchange. Now, one thing that we don't do right now, we're not working with the United States. It's only available outside of the United States for now.
Got it.
But if somebody wants to trade with the same UI, user experience as a centralized exchange, but they want to do it in a decentralized way, CryptoS is currently the only place I know of that can be done, that's backed by a very, very strong development team. Now, again, this is another project that very, very recently I got involved in, and they're just now launching the exchange itself, but very, very soon, once the competition ends between the two developing teams on testnet, we'll also have a token, and that token will be used similar to Binance. It'll be used for fees and for liquidity and things like that. So yeah, I mean, that's something that we're actively starting to do right now, is list tokens onto CryptoS. And I will very soon on my socials, I'll have a form for people to fill out. But otherwise, they can always email listings@cryptos.com. It's just like crypto.com with an S at the end is the domain. So
it's, by the way, beautiful naming. Just trying. I don't know why it's put it in my let's say in my docs like cryptos, and I'm also open it cryptos.com. But still, it's very important that os.com. It's very simple to remember. It's like it's crypto operation system. It's like it's very beautiful. Very beautiful concept. I'm still willing to know more about that. I hope I will follow that project, and it feels like it's very interesting initiative. Do you have some sort of white paper or something like that to deep dive to read more about it?
We didn't upload it to the website yet, but it will be up on the website very soon. The white paper and documents.
Yes.
Because we like literally just started on the listings like last night, I think it was, where we're just putting everything together on the website.
Wonderful. So because for those folks who's willing to deep dive and who's willing to, let's say, to understand that project deeper and understand all the mechanics, I mean, the order book, how it's working, because I know that type of traders from my cycle, some of them, some we could call it that old school guys, because they're playing in cryptos for a very long time, like you, and that's why they're willing to understand the mechanics. So they are going very deep, reading the let's say the white paper, and that's how they make a decision. And some of them are whales because they are moving their capitals, a lot of capitals, to your platform. So I will add later the link to your white paper, to the Cryptos white paper, also down below, to, let's say, to add that very important element of our conversation, because we still need to know more about that. It feels like something new from the DEX point of view and also text point of view. Some sort of unique mix. Okay. I have a question regarding the collaboration with a very beautiful project you mentioned, ELMAS Space, because it feels like it's very natural for, let's say, ELMAS Land to connect and work together with ELMAS Space and create some beautiful events, crypto events here in Tulum, one of the most beautiful places on earth, and creating some. We have a lot of artists, by the way, here, and maybe we could, let's say, create something related to the ELMAS Land on ELMAS Space platform. Could we collaborate with you or could you introduce us to some of, let's say, important team members, just to, let's say, to ask the questions, to be sure that we are doing it's right, because I know sometimes.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I can definitely make an intro to the CEO and CTO of Illustrated Space, so that you can do whether either work out a collaboration or really just a deep dive into more about the tech behind all of what Illustrated Space does. But it goes for really virtually any project that I'm working with. You know, there's some type of collaboration possible, because I only work with projects that are not in competition, but trying to work together with everyone to create this utopia, which is what I see it, a future where people can create and develop and think and live and breathe in a decentralized way with freedom, true freedom, in my opinion. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot to talk about down the line.
Thank you. It's very important for us because we are building those chains of eco-village, and also we are creating that, let's say, layer 2 preparedness ecosystem and community, just to protect our freedoms and protect our ability as a creators to live fully. And that's the goal of ELMAS Land. We need that. We talk a lot when we talk about the crypto projects. We're talking a lot about the hosting. Some crypto projects are still hosting on Amazon, and then we are thinking about the decentralized way to creating that hardware, actually the layer 0 or whatever for any project, because it's also part of the story, part of part of our independence, and that's the last layer of our independence, our physical presence. So we're creating that independent physical presence, and that's ability to live fully and autonomous, creating your own world, living in your own world, not in some dystopian motherfuckers ideas about new type of prisons. So thank you so much for that conversation. It was very interesting. Thank you so much for explaining so many projects you are involved, and that's definitely very, very interesting conversation for all of our viewers and our community members.
Yeah, absolutely. It was really my pleasure. It was really my pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. We are.